I'm Lee Iridium. Hope everyone's all right today. I've got Jam. I've got Dom. I've got Vamp. How you doing? All right?
Yeah, good. How are you all?
Excellent. Thank you.
It's been ages, actually, since we've spoken.
It's
been nearly 2 weeks.
I know. I feel like I've forgotten everything.
I don't think the fans really care anyway, because our views have gone down on our last video. I'm a bit pissed
just
off.
the last one. Everything else is fine up until that one.
So what's happened in the last 2 weeks? I mean, we were just as funny.
Yeah.
So
when you're right, you got to get out there and tell your friends to watch 2004, because we need to get back to 150 people at least. Jesus.
Exactly. So 2005 anyway. We're up to 2005. We don't give a fuck. No one watches because we enjoy ourselves, don't we?
Exactly. That's right. We don't do it for the fame, man. We don't do it for the fame.
No, we do it just for the pure enjoyment. We do, and
for the love of rock and roll.
And Vampy loves it as well. Look, he just loves it with tickle under the chin as well. Anyway, we're up to 2005. Obviously, our all killer, no filler, total frustration. And we're here to give you your weekly dose of it. So, anyone who doesn't know the rules of all killer, no filler, total frustration, is we've got a year, which is 2005. We can't repeat a song of our choice on the list on an album, but sorry, so we can't have two albums of the same song off the same fucking album. What the fuck?
See, 2 weeks.
We can't.
2 weeks. Forget it.
You've lost it.
We can't have two songs off the same album, and also the track listing has to match the track listing of the original release. This is correct, isn't it? Have I missed anything? No.
Correct-ish, yeah.
I apologize. It's just out of practice. That's all it is. Yeah. Okay. So I don't know about you guys. I've got a pretty good list.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, good. So 2005 is odd. That means the weirdo down the bottom, Dom, is going to kick us off with his track one. What's your first choice?
That's right. I got a great track one as well. So cast your mind back to the original incarnation of Shotgun Messiah. Before Tim Gold took it over and decided it was an industrial band. Remember when they were glam and they had a singer with long black hair and did a bit of the sway and all that? That guy's name is Zinny J. Zan. And he had an album in 2005 called Zan Clan.
Zan Clan.
Yeah, Zan Clan. We are Zan Clan. Who the fuck are you? That's the name of the album. Song I picked, number one, is called Go, Go, Go. This is a great throwback glam metal album. Just pure, this is the thing that he's, always done. Swedish, obviously, so he's showing the young Swedes, how this all started. Really good album, Zan Clan. If you remember the crazy black-haired guy from the early Shotgun Messiah videos, shout it out. Remember him? He's still around. He's still doing this shit. So yeah, there you are. We are Zan Clan. Who the fuck are you?
Cool.
I love the album name. It's fucking brilliant. Okay.
It's great, man. Yeah, you should check it out.
Brilliant. All right, cheers, mate. What you got then, Jam? What's your number one?
Okay. Well, mine's from Sweden as well, but it's a band I'll talk about a lot, so I won't be too long on it. And Opeth, of course, with their magnificent album Ghost Reveries, which is one of their best ones, and this is the 10-minute epic Ghost of Perdition, which is one of their biggest songs. Good album. This has got Baying of the Hounds on it, Atonement and Grand Conjuration. And this song is one of their epic songs. It's got some harsh vocals. It starts off pretty harsh, starts off pretty fast, then it goes mellow after about 4 minutes, and it sort of starts with the chorus, which is a bit strange, and then goes into the verses, and obviously it meanders because it's obviously very proggy, and then it just goes into an epic end bit and goes really fast at the end. And typical Opeth, proggy, half clean vocals, half. There's sort of half and half at this point. This is the penultimate heavy album or harsh vocal album after the next one after this. Then when they go into the more, I guess you just call it prog rock, not even metal. So there you go. Opeth, Ghost of Perdition from Ghost of Reveries.
Very cool. You said it starts off with a chorus. Does it sound the same as that song that I know that starts off with a chorus? Shot through the heart and you're too. Oh, okay.
I'm not sure it sounds just like that. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Right. Okay. Excellent choice though, mate. Two Swedish bands already, or something to do with Sweden? Anyway, that's cool.
I might have a couple more coming up here too.
All right.
Well, my first one is not Swedish. It's American, very well known. I've probably had these on the list a few times, and it's Journey.
All right.
AOR, Journey. So this time you got Steve Augeri still in the band, but this is the second album with him in it, where the album's not all that, to tell you the truth. It's called Generations, but this song is fucking
And they
brilliant.
all sing.
They all sang. I don't know why. When you got someone like that who can sing, then they all choose to fucking sing and fuck it right up. But anyway, this song that kicks off the album is absolutely amazing. It's called Faith in the Heartland. It was that good that later on they did it again with the new guy, Pineda, as well. It doesn't sound a lot different at all, to tell you the truth. It just proves how good Steve Augeri was, really. What an amazing singer he was. He's just brilliant. And back then, I sort of discovered the journey of Steve Augeri a bit later, or Jerry, a bit later on, and didn't realise what a fucking brilliant singer he is, and how close he was also to Steve Perry, that sort of sound. So everyone has a little go at Pineda, don't they, about how much he sounds like Steve Perry, but he did as well. It's just like, I suppose the only one who didn't really sound like him was Jeff Scott Soto, did he? At all, really?
Yeah, just a classic AOR voice, but not, not a carbon copy.
But love that song. Faith in the Heartland is one of my favourite Journey songs, actually. I had to get it in there. There was something else on the list to start with, and then I realised I wanted that on. That's a bit of a shining light in a not so good Journey album, to say the truth.
Yeah.
When you say they redid it, did they redo a studio version with?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
right. So it's on one of their later albums then.
So when they did, when they brought out their first one with Pineda, they brought out an extra disc and did a load of Journey songs. I don't know why, like all the famous ones on an extra disc.
Oh, right. It was on there.
No, but Faith in the Heartland was on the actual proper one. So I don't know why they recorded that, not just with the rest, but it's a great song. Both versions are great, but I think I might have heard the Pineda one first, thought, oh, this is a brilliant song, then heard the Steve Augeri one and thought, it's just as fucking good. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
So, there you go. Faith in the Heartland, Journey, the original version.
Gary, I think the problem was, we've said this before, singing those songs night after night on tour for 100-day tours and stuff. He just couldn't keep his voice together, but you can't. I mean, he sounds great on record. I'm sure he sounded great for probably the first few dates of the tour, but man, singing those high notes for 100-day tour, come on.
Well, it took his toll on Steve Perry, didn't it? And I think it might be taking its toll, so I've heard, on Pineda as well, but at least they've had a bit of a rest. But I mean, anyone singing like that would, Hopefully they all won't do a Christmas album together in the future.
Oh God.
I know. Anyway, the cat's just about to jump on me again.
Okay, good. Well, hey.
No, not up there. Not the records. Fuck off. Not my... Get down. No. Anyway, right. What are we at? Track 2?
Dr. Doolittle here. He can talk to the animals, but he tells them to fuck off.
Oh, mate.
Now say bollocks.
I've just applied for a job to work with animals. Do you think they like me?
No.
Well,
anyway.
Might want to edit this video.
Yeah. Okay. Track 2. What you got?
Yeah, track 2. Okay, what do I got? I've got solo album from Ricky Warwick, who we know from the Almighty and from what's the why am I blanking on this band?
Black Star Riders.
Yeah, Black Star Riders, that's the one. God, I just blanked on it. Anyway, this is his second solo album. It's called Love Many, Trust Few. It's not quite acoustic singer-songwriter, but it definitely takes it down a notch. But there's some really great songs on here. It's very kind of rootsy, stonesy kind of vibe. This song is called I Don't Know What to Do. He's made some good stuff. His last one was mostly covers. I wasn't that thrilled with it. But back when kind of in between Almighty and Thin Lizzy, Black Star Riders, what have you, he made a couple really quality solo records. This is one of them. So if you're not aware, maybe check it out on YouTube or something. And yeah, there's some real good tracks on this, and that's one of them.
Cool. Thanks, mate. Cheers. What you got in, Jen?
Well, just looking at my list, I realised I'm going 6 different countries in the first 6 songs. So that's pretty good, isn't it? And this is one that we don't often say. Track 2, South African band called Seether. And the album's Karma in Effect, and the song is Remedy. I've only known this song. It's a relatively new one for me. It's a Planet Rock, because obviously I've been listening to it for the last 18 months at home. And this is a relatively new one for me that I really enjoyed. I didn't realise it's quite so old. But yeah, I guess I think they're described as a post-grunge band. They're not really, they do this song is actually sort of got that Nirvana sound. They're sort of a bit slow, with sort of lighter in the verses, and then it gets sort of heavier in the chorus. And this song is a classic example of that. It's really catchy. Yeah, it's a really good riff and just a cool song. I mean, it's a bit better than grunge. It's a bit better than Nirvana. It's probably worth checking out the album. I have got it, I just haven't listened to it. But this song is really great, and you probably know it. You probably heard it. I mean, Remedy, it's quite a big track.
I might have heard it, but I can't think of it at the moment. But yeah, I may have done. Yeah,
cool, yeah, you probably like it. Yeah,
excellent. Okay, so my second track is Master Plan. So Jorn is back for the second album from Master Plan, which is called Aeronautics. And this song's called Back for My Life. Excellent track. This for me is probably the weakest Jorn Master Plan album for me. I didn't think it was as immediate as a debut, and I love the one he did later. I think it's Time to Be King. I think later on, I love that album. It's probably my favorite, but it was solid. But Back for My Life would have just fitted on the first album. Absolutely fantastic. Jorn, of course, in brilliant form as usual. Yeah, that's my second track, Master Plan. Ooh. There you go.
All right, Jorn.
Still yeah, Jorn's back.
Oh, Johnny.
Yeah.
Johnny Landay.
Oh,
cat's scratching around at the back here, probably shitting everywhere.
Good. Well, we'll be able to tell by your face what's going on.
Yeah. Good job, Ben. Good job you can't smell through the camera, isn't it?
Scratch and sniff. Okay, so I've got kind of an obscure one here. This is one of those that when I was working at record stores and just random CDs would come in. This is definitely one of those. This is a Greek band. They're called Casus Belli. And I looked up the meaning of it in preparation for this, and it means like a declaration of war in Latin. Casus Belli, anyway. They are, well, some would consider it probably power metal. I just consider it metal, because they don't have the double bass and the they don't have any of that stuff. But it's just modern classic metal to me. Anyway, the name of the album is In the Name of the Rose, and the name of the song that I picked is called Holy Gates. Great obscure band. This is their second record. They didn't do anything after this. I don't know if they moved on to any other band, to be honest. This is a CD I've had since 2005, so I've listened to it quite a bit. But I don't know if the members did anything else. But being Greek, they probably didn't have too many opportunities, to tour and that kind of thing. But really great classic metal album. So there you go. Casus Belli.
I mean, you're probably right there about being Greek, but the names that turn up for me now, because doing the channel, and then I look at members in bands that I didn't know about, and I think, oh fucking hell, he was in that band. It's just they just go everywhere, don't they? They just all of a sudden turn up in another band. It's mental. But yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So I mean, there may be some members of these guys that went on to do other things, but in my brief kind of research getting ready for the show, I didn't see any other links to any other bands. But
no, cool.
Anyway, good record.
Brilliant one. Okay, cool.
Cool.
We got Jan.
Okay, country number 3, US of A. This is Black Label Society, which obviously don't need introduction. I'm only a casual fan, really. I mean, I've got like a best of that I've created myself, you know. I've seen them a few times. Love Zakk Wylde, don't get me wrong, but I think we've talked about it before. They do a lot of good songs, but some of the whole album is just a bit samey and they're just not, you know, for me anyway. So anyway, this is from Mafia, and this is my favourite Black Label Society song, and it's Suicide Messiah, which I absolutely love. Classic riff on it. Obviously, it's got the usual Zakk Wylde sound, really heavy riff. But I just like the singing. I mean, I hear quite a lot of his songs. He does actually sound like sort of 70s Aussie in places, I think. And this one's definitely got a sort of 70s Aussie vibe to it, the way he sings it. And it's just a rocking song. I think they play it live. I haven't seen him for a while. But I'm pretty sure they do play it. So I think it is pretty much a staple of the live show. But yeah, Suicide Messiah, rocking, typical Black Label Society song, and my favourite.
Yeah,
the ones I know.
He did start to do that more Aussie type vocal a bit later on, like, you know, through his career. He sort of stopped doing it a little bit now. I've noticed on the 2 songs leading up to this album, I think it's out tomorrow actually, he's sort of gone back a little bit to what he used to sound like. So yeah,
they're good, them new songs. I like them actually.
They're really good. They're really good. I am intrigued about the new album. So yeah, interested. So okay,
cool.
I'm going into a band that Jam sort of likes now and again. He likes a few of their songs, but not all of them. I think he thinks they're a bit overrated. Actually, do you know who it is?
Oh right, yeah, I know it'll be. Yeah,
Avenged Sevenfold. So Blinded in Chains is a song off of City of Evil. This is where they sort of changed a lot, though. That they lost the harsh vocals at this point. I mean, they did a little bit on the last album. I believe the first album, the 7 Trumpets or whatever the fuck it was called, that was all like that. And then they sort of did a mixture on the second album, Waking the Fallen, and then on City of Evil just completely lost the deep growling vocals, where that's when they got me really interested. So I mean, I know everyone, I sort of know them anyway, but if you haven't heard them, they're sort of like a mix of Metallica and Maiden, I suppose, that sort of thing. Very complex sort of guitaring, though. I mean, it's just mental. I think the guitarist done he studied some fucking classical music, and so you can tell when he's playing, he's just fucking mad on the guitar. But yeah, very cool. It's the 3rd album. I like most of that album. Loved it when it came out. I was really into it. I just sort of don't listen to it a lot now, if you know what I mean. Yeah. But still good though. Still really good. So Avenged Sevenfold, Blinded in Chains from City of Evil. There you go.
All right.
Cool. Track 4.
Well, number 4 for me is Backcountry from City of Evil, Avenged Sevenfold.
Very nice. Very good. Very good.
This is the first track I ever heard of theirs, you know. I think I mentioned on the last show, or maybe a couple previous shows, that I went to Warped Tour every year. And every band got 30 minutes. You didn't know who was playing until you got there, but they would also have special guest slots where they would keep the band hidden until they actually came on stage. So the curtains parted and the crowd goes fucking ape shit, and it's Avenged Sevenfold, and it's they were touring this album. Or I think it was maybe the week before the record came out, because I hadn't really heard of them. I had heard the name, but you know, I wasn't really into the kind of the harsh vocals and stuff. But when they came out and they did a couple tunes off this, I remember this song especially. Backcountry is about Hunter S. Thompson, the kind of a fear and loathing in Las Vegas. That's what the lyrics are all about. And that just blew me away. So when I got the record, I really thought it was great. For me personally, I think they lost. I think this is kind of their peak. Like they were doing, as you say, really long, kind of intricate songs. Now they're kind of just a basic rock band, which is fine. And I do still like some of their tracks. But I think this was like perfect between the old and the new. Like they really had something special with this record. So yeah, I don't know if I would probably put anything else on these lists. Never say never, but for me, this is the one. And especially this song. Yeah, it's just great. So there you go, Backcountry.
Great video as well. Great video for that song.
All right, yeah.
Check that out. So yeah, cool. Sort of a match then.
Sort of, yeah.
A match of albums, right? What you got in, Jack?
Okay, well, I'm going to Welsh Wales for a bit of metalcore, and this is, of course, Bullet for My Valentine from their debut album, The Poison. They released an EP before this. I think it might have even been the same year, called Hand of Blood, but this is from the debut album, The Poison, and the song is Tears Don't Fall, which is one of their biggest songs, and it's absolutely brilliant. There's some other good songs on this, Four Words to Choke Upon, All These Things I Hate. Revolver Around Me is a great song as well. This is one of the live staples you don't see. I've seen Bullet probably 3 or 4 times, not a massive amount. I saw them at the Pilot this year, which was brilliant. Obviously, to see live music helped. And they've gone back to heavy again because their last album before this was pretty shite. They're ultra heavy now. But no, this song's brilliant. It's got a sort of a slow verse, but then it goes into like a fast bridge, and then it has a slow chorus. So it's got sort of 3 parts to it, and it's got a great guitar solo. Sing along. It's obviously slightly shouty, but yeah, great song. You've probably heard it. And yeah, I like Bullet for My Valentine. The band I've probably not listened to much recently because I sort of went off them a bit. But once you sort of go back and listen to them, you sort of think, oh, I do really like them, you know. So I've got a new album, so I'm looking forward to listening. I heard that in Rainbow Song, is it? But yeah, I haven't heard the rest of the new album yet. But Tears Don't Fall, classic Bullet for My Valentine. There you go.
Cheers, mate. Excellent. I'm going to Bruce Dickinson. So this was his last solo album, Tyranny of Souls. 6th solo album though. Fucking 6th. So yeah, knocked him out at the time. But this is Kill Devil Hill. Just a brilliant medium paced sort of galloping Maiden-esque song, really. I mean, I love this album. Not quite as much as Chemical Wedding, but I think it was still really good and, you know, solid album. There's a lot of tracks. This is one of them albums I probably could have chose any song. You know, I think they're all good. Wow. But Kill Devil Hill is just heavy, real heavy, brilliant song. Bruce obviously on fine form. So that's it. Bruce Dickinson, Kill Devil Hill. Go for Tyranny of Soul.
You know, the bass player from Pantera, his name escapes me at the moment. His band's called Kill Devil Hill. I just wondered what the relevance is. But I don't know what it means.
Rex.
That's Rex something, isn't it?
Allen? Rex Allen?
Something like that. Yeah. But yeah, I did hear that album. I think the first one. Good, yeah, it's pretty good. So this fucking cat.
So if anybody watching knows what Kill Devil Hill, what the relevance is to any of them two, then perhaps they'll let us know.
I've got to lean forward.
Brown.
Rex Brown. I've got to lean
Brown.
forward because he's going to jump all over the stuff behind me otherwise. And he's still going to do it because he's going to get on the chair and do it. He's such a prick, this cat, honestly. If anyone, any subscribers want him, honestly, for free, he's there, look. He's right there.
Good luck with that.
With the albums.
Mm-hmm. He probably likes the warmth of the sign because he doesn't have any fucking hair.
No.
Might be. Anyway, okay, we're at
track 5.
Come
crashing down in a minute.
We're at track 5. Yeah, I'm waiting for something to just drop on me. Track 5. Yeah. What you got then, Don?
Track 5. Okay, we've got debut album from Crash Diet.
Now
they are a seminal Swedish new wave of new. I don't want to say new metal because it's not new and new metal, but you know,
glammy, sort of sleazy.
Yeah, this is the start of all this kind of coming back here. Of course, Sweden is in the driver's seat, and Crash Diet, they're still making great glammy metal records. This is the first one called Rest in Sleaze. You gotta love it. And the song I picked is called Needle in the Eye. Really great debut album, and I think it's even regarded more now that it's just a classic. At the time, it was still kind of a new thing for these bands to tease their hair again and start writing these kind of songs. But I think now this debut is kind of regarded as a classic in the genre. So there you go. Crash Diet, still going.
Great album. And just to plug the band a little bit, I think they've got a new single out a week tomorrow. So there you go. New album coming out next year, I think. So yeah, really good band. I love Crash Diet. Really good. I sort of put them in that. Oh my fucking God. It's fucking Cat. I do put them in the category of all the great, you know, Eclipse, Heat, and all those sort of bands.
All the Swedish. Yeah.
Well, I'm getting rid of this cat. Honestly, get off. Anyway, thank you.
Okay.
It's just being really annoying tonight. I don't know why, but you know, his mummy ain't here to look after him, is he? No.
And that's it.
All right. Okay. All right, sorry about that. Where you got then, Jan? Crash Diet.
Okay.
Brilliant, by the way. Love them.
Right, let's go to going to Denmark now for another debut album of the great Volbeat. I think Lee's maybe edged towards liking him now after the review of the last song.
That last song was brilliant. I've got to admit that.
Cracking song that is. But this is from their debut album, so this is from the Strength of Sound, the songs. Very much the same. The first 2 or 3 albums, in fact, all of it's classic Volbeat is Metallica-esque riffs with sort of rockabilly, sort of different style singing on it. That's what most of it's like. Didn't really like the last album, I must admit. It's gone to their heads a bit, and I think got a bit poppy for me and a bit not very heavy, but the new album sounds like they've gone back to form. Anyway, this is the first album. This song is Halls of Booze, Booze, Boozer, which they play nearly all the time when they see them live now. They don't play that much off the first couple of 3 albums anymore, but they do play this one. Sing along, as I say, Metallica-esque riffs, and very much a typical Volbeat song. If you've heard Volbeat, you know what I mean by that. There's nothing special about this song, particularly apart from it's just great. And I got into Volbeat quite early. I saw them loads of times to download. I think they got on download bill very early before they were that famous. I think Coppin obviously liked them, and so I sort of checked them out because they sounded interesting. And pretty much are all my mates and that we all like them now, all pretty hooked on them. And probably been watching them for maybe not 2005, but probably 2007 onwards. So got all the albums, and great. Good stuff.
I am interested in the new album, I must admit. So I'm going to give that a listen for sure. Good one, mate. Okay, my track 5, a bit of a collaboration, bit of a project, I suppose. Starbreaker. This is Magnus Coulson from Primal Fear, and Tony Harnell from TNT. So this is a great album as well. A little bit different than both of those projects, sort of a heavy rock, sometimes metal, I would say. This was an actual ballad though on the album. This is another really solid album. Actually, I could have chosen a lot of songs. This is I think known as their best album. There's been 3 so far, 1 only recently, but I mean I love Magnus Coulson. I think he's a great guitarist, songwriter as well. He does loads of stuff. You're going to find him on a load of lists where he's done collaborations. He's a real fucking workaholic. You know, he's just always doing something. But of course, Tony Harnell's on this as well. It's just a brilliant ballad, really, and an excellent album. Check it out, Starbreaker. Unless you think Tony Harnell doesn't do anything but TNT, you know, he does. He does a lot of other stuff. So there you go. Okay. I've got
the one they did from maybe 3 years ago, maybe now. 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah. Is it Dystopia or something like that?
Yeah, that sounds right. I've got that one, but I don't have any of the older ones, but definitely would be open to checking it out. But yeah, I did like the one I have. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, Tony Harnell just doesn't sound any different, does he? He doesn't go. Great. He doesn't go for them mental. I mean, he was one of the highest singers I've ever heard. I think in the 80s he reached. You know, to do that would probably be a bit difficult now, but he's still got the range there for sure. Yeah.
Right. And, you know, I mean, if it doesn't fit the song, then why do his strong, you know?
I agree.
Okay. So I've got a band here. We've mentioned them before, but I don't think I've had anything. This is the first record that I got of theirs. I did get it in 2005. Goddard. This is their album called Lip Service. And the song I picked is I Wonder. This is as I said, it's the first time I heard of them. Again, another one where we used to have this customer who would buy all these imports of all these like Swedish and Swiss bands and everything. And sometimes he turned me on. So this is the first time I'd heard of them. So it's the album I know of theirs the most.
Yeah.
What a great album. And this actually went to #1 in Switzerland, believe it or not. Oh. So what number is this? This is their 7th album already. In 2005, yeah. So they had already been established, obviously, and went to #1. So great album and a great place to start for Goddard if you haven't heard them. They are just a great melodic heavy band.
Yeah, they are.
As we all love, from the 70s and 80s and on to 90s, and now 2005, a band like Goddard is still making just the kind of melodic metal that we love. So there you go.
They're good. They're good. They are really good. Yeah, I like that band, man. Very cool choice indeed. What you got then, Jack?
Okay, sixth and final, different country. Now we're going all the way to Australia, and it's Wolfmother with their debut album. This was massive at the time when it came out. Accused a little bit of being Led Zeppelin-esque. Don't really see it myself. A lot heavier than Led Zeppelin, a lot faster. It's maybe his vocals or something. I don't know. I don't think so. But some good songs on this album. White Unicorn, Woman Colossal, good stuff. Joker and the Thief is the one I've gone for, which is track 5, track 6 even. This is the big one anyway, but the riff on this is so good. It's brilliant. Catchy, sing along. It's just a really good band. I stayed with them. I got the next album as well, and I'll definitely have something off that. I mean, I think it released about 10 different versions of the second album, and I think if you get all the individual tracks, it's be like 18 tracks or something you could have had on that second album. But anyway, we'll get onto that when we get there. But yeah, Wolfmother, Joker and the Thief, great song. You probably heard it. Everybody's heard it. It was big at the time. Not so big now. I don't think they did an album fairly recently actually, but not sure I've heard that one. But
did you mean they got accused of sounding like Kingdom Come, did you say?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
exactly.
I always thought they were more like a early Sabbath, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I agree. That's what I'm saying. I don't see the Led Zeppelin there at all, personally. But
yeah.
Okay, good choice. Good choices, guys. I'm going to a band that I've mentioned a few times, and it's Stryper. I've got to add these on the list because it's their comeback album, which was Reborn. So obviously,
it's finished strawberry picking.
Well, no, apparently I found out it's turnips.
Oh, turnips.
So he'd stopped picking turnips at the farm, and
turnips of all things, turnips.
He got the band back together, and this is this was originally going to be a solo album, Michael Sweet solo album, and it was actually recorded as his solo album, but then obviously someone said, a record company or something said, let's make it a Stryper album, maybe make a bit of money, I don't know, because the Stryper name. And then the guys recorded it under the Stryper banner. And the production's really bad. It's a poor production. Oh, fucking hell. What is the matter with this cat tonight? Honestly, what is going on? Honestly, anyone can have him. Look, he's lovely. Look at him. He's so pretty. He's good looking. Yeah, Stryper. So, I mean, yeah, the production, the drum sound, I mean, it's not quite St. Anger, but it ain't a lot better, put it that way.
Well, I'm so glad that you have a song from this on All Killer.
Yeah. Listen, production-wise, yes. Production-wise, it's poor, but the songs are really good. They were a different Stryper as well, though. They've definitely got, I would say, influence from that time, that sort of post-grunge sort of Creed, that sort of sound into them as well. They injected a little bit of that into them, I must admit. But there's some great songs on it. There's probably about 4 or 5 really good songs. And they actually, Michael Sweet redid the album from the original mix he did as way back then, and it's a million times better. That it sounds absolutely brilliant. I've actually got a copy of it, but the songs are still good on this album, and this one's called Live Again. This is probably one of the songs that, you know, sounded more classic Stryper than a lot of the other songs on the album, but there's some really good tunes on it. It's probably a bit too, for Stryper, it's actually probably a little bit too mellow. There's quite a few ballads on it and stuff, but
all right,
it's a great album, but it just, the production there weren't the best. It was sort of a sign of the times of the production as well. Some of the production in that time wasn't the best. It's sort of meant to sound a bit, I don't know, a bit rough, you know, a bit raw. But
I can finally say there's an album cover that shits me up.
What, the Stryper one?
Oh,
the green one. The green, the sort of yellow
one where they're like tearing the fucking shit off themselves, right?
It's hard to explain that cover is awful, isn't it?
Oh, makes me want to vomit.
Yeah, they're coming, I suppose it's sort of meant to be a bit of the Reborn stuff where they're coming out of some sort of goo or green slimy goo.
They're all gooey and they're like tearing, like it looks like their flesh, tearing their flesh off.
It is an awful cover. It is. And so when Michael Sweet redid the album, it's a brilliant cover now. It's an absolutely brilliant bit of artwork. But yeah, that was it wasn't good. Well, obviously you couldn't have the
spit me up.
You shit you. No trees either. There's no trees.
No trees. No.
Okay, brilliant. Thanks for that. Anyway, Striper is my number 6 with Live Again.
All right, Mighty Striper. Okay, what do I got? Oh, we got a band here that's been around forever and a day. This is their first album with their, well, he's not in the band anymore, but at the time he was their new singer, Rob Dukes. This is Exodus. This is from their album Shovel-Headed Kill Machine. I fucking love that title, and I love the cover as well. Yeah. The name of the song is Going, Going, Gone. Rob Dukes was on 3 of their records, I think. One of the records that he did was a re-recording of Bonded by Blood, which a lot of fans don't think that there was probably any need for him to re-record that, which, you know, it's neither here nor there. I mean, obviously the production was much, much better. But, you know, there's something to be said for those classic thrash records. It didn't really sound too great. Anyway, I like the singing with them. I thought they kind of had a bit of a rebirth. They sound a bit fresh and, you know, injected with some new blood. This was a pretty strong album for them. I've never been a huge, you know, nothing like Slayer or Megadeth or Anthrax or anything, but I do respect them for who they are. And obviously Gary Holt's great, and he was in Slayer for the last 10 years, whatever. But yeah, this is a really strong album. I don't know if a lot of people have bought these records, but production's great and really just great straight up thrash. So Exodus.
Cool. They got a new album out as well, I think. I haven't heard it.
Yeah.
I think they've got a new album out.
Yeah,
yeah, they're back with not the original singer, obviously, but I guess the classic-ish singer.
Yeah, cool. Good choice, mate. Bit of fresh, excellent. What you got in, Jam, for your number 7, mate?
Mine's number 7. Okay, I'm going back to the band. I don't know if it's last list or the list before the Dom had, and he said, yeah, some people think about this. He picked a more serious one, but I've gone with the ultimate stupid one from Buckcherry from their album 15. Now, might be controversial. Wikipedia says it's 2005, but it didn't get a US release till 2006. But go on, I'm not in the US, so you know. Anyway, the song is called "Crazy Bitch," which is their most famous song. Controversial, sleazy, but it's just fun, isn't it? They always play it live. It's staple of the live show. I've seen them a couple of times. I'm not a massive, it's a bit like Black Label Society. I'm not a massive fan. I like some of the songs. I like the new song actually, 1, 2, 3, 4 or something it's called. That's quite good. But yeah, Crazy Bitch is their sort of anthem, I guess. Probably not very PC these days, but I think they still play it. So. There you go.
And if you go to a strip club, you'll definitely hear it.
Exactly.
Yeah. They won't care about being PC at the strip club, I don't think. Anyway.
No.
Okay. Excellent. It's me, isn't it? I'm just getting a bit confused because of this thing. I don't know why. There's something happening tonight. It's annoying me. I don't know what it is.
You've got some catnip on you, have you?
It's definitely not you two anyway that are annoying me. It's this fucking thing. Anyway, track 7 for me. This is actually, I hadn't heard this at the time, but I've gone back and listened to this on purpose because they got a new album out and I hadn't heard of the band before called Heartland. Don't know if any of you guys have heard of them. You might have done, Dom.
Just the name, but I couldn't tell you what, you know.
So you got a guy called Chris Alsey in the band, and Mike Slammer as well. Great guitarist, great vocalist, sort of classic sort of rock sounding AOR sort of stuff. And this is a song called Getting Ready off their Move On album. Yeah, the new album's called Into the Future. And to tell you the truth, I mean, this was a few years ago. What is it, 16 years ago we're talking about? And it's very, I mean, if you actually put this song compared to their new stuff, it's very similar. They haven't changed a lot. It's got that rocking sort of, say OR, but with a bit more rock in it. It's sort of melodic hard rock, I suppose. But he's a great singer, this Chris Alsey. He's got a real soulful voice. And yeah, it's a great song called Getting Ready off the Move On album. I think all their albums, looking at it, if you look back at them, highly thought of all round, really. So, got a bit.
Do we know where this Move On, where it fits in there? Is it their 6th album or their 2nd album or their?
I believe it's their 9th album.
Wow.
They
So they
started
had 9 records before this,
this is
2005.
eight before this one. So this is their
Holy
ninth album.
cow.
So they started in the early 90s, basically, or
Okay.
could have been the late 80s. It was like right at the end of the 80s or the beginning of the 90s. And,
Yeah.
but they haven't made a new album for a long time. As I think their new album might have been their 11th. So it's like
So they haven't been.
Yeah, they haven't been so prolific with releasing albums lately. But no, it's the new album is really good. Check that out, Into the Future. But this song is very cool as well. So there you go. Track 7 is Heartland and Getting Ready.
Cool. All right. What do I got? Oh, well, I got back to, Lee's already mentioned the band TNT, From All the Way to the Sun. This is their 9th album. This is I just love this song so much. It's called The Letter. It's just got such a great feel. I don't even know how to describe it. It's like an amped up Motown song or something. It's so great. I have been on the train and this would come on and I will listen to it 3 times in a row. It just hits me. I don't know what it is really, but melodic, and it's got a bit of a groove, and he just sounds great on it, and just love it. So TNT, we spoke about them quite a bit on this channel already, so don't need to fill you in on them. But this is the one after My Religion, which is kind of the comeback album, if you will. So they were still riding high on this one.
Them 2 albums are great, and these 2 albums are brilliant. No Religion in this.
I agree. Yeah, especially for me, it was kind of, it was the melody of the kind of sheen of the late 80s, but a bit more of a modern toughness and production stuff. So really good for me. So yeah, TNT. That's my number 8.
Great choice, mate. What you got in, Jam? Number 8.
Cool. All right, I've got a band who I've followed since the first album, but I haven't managed to get anything on of my list so far for these. They haven't done a massive amount of work, so I've done a few more now since then, and that's a bit of a industrial electronica, I guess. 9 Inch Nails. This is from their With Teeth album. I didn't get anything off. Obviously, Downward Spiral is one of the classic albums. It's so fucking miserable, and it's really heavy and distorted. You know what I mean? It's it's difficult to listen to sometimes. It's not like The Dirt where you can listen to it and it's sort of, although it's miserable, it's sort of uplifting slightly. Whereas something like Downward Spiral really isn't, like the title suggests. But anyway, With Teeth, they're going a bit more back to sort of like the first album. So they've got a lot more sort of keyboards and sort of upbeat feel. And this song is called Only, which is another one that's always played live. Some great songs on this album. Hands That Feed, Every Day Is Exactly the Same. But I really do like 9 Inch Nails. I got into them quite a lot. I think I've seen them once, I believe. So I think I saw them on a tour rather than at a festival, but I've seen so many gigs, you can't remember from one to the other. But yeah, this is a keyboard-led fan favourite, quite upbeat and quite fast. It's got a really catchy chorus as well. And just a really good song. Bit of 9 Inch Nails.
Cool. Very cool indeed. Cheers, mate. Okay, so I'm going to Primal Fear, bit of German metal now. Obviously, my mate Ralph Sheepers is the singer.
Your mate.
My mate. This is my favourite album, actually, from them. This is the 6th album. This is Seven Seals. It's got some brilliant tracks on there. This is actually the first time I heard Primal Fear, this album. It might be because that might be why it's my favourite album. But if you actually look back at, if you ever read any like their best album, you just rank the albums sometimes. You look at fans ranking them. They seem to put this one near the top or at the top anyway. Maybe I'll just hit them.
It's a good starting point.
Yeah, exactly. But there's some real epic songs on this one, and I wanted to choose other songs that I like better, but they're all fucking brilliant. This one's a proper medium-paced metal, fucking real heavy riff. It's called Carney War. It's just really heavy. It's fucking heavy. Obviously, Ralph Sheeper, his brilliant vocal. Just a brilliant song. It's just like amped up. So when they get medium paced, Primal Fear, they just sound so heavy. It's just brilliant. They do a lot of fast stuff as well, and I've really found out, haven't I, probably through this program alone, that I don't like fast songs. So
I actually saw you. I saw you on Facebook, and I forget what band it was, but they asked, should our next single be a fast paced or mid paced? And you put mid paced. And I was gonna do a laugh emoji because I just thought, well, of course they're gonna fucking pick on Nick Faith.
I don't know. I honestly, before I did this channel or before I did these sort of programs with you guys, I just thought I liked metal in general, whether it was slow, fast, fucking medium. I just thought, yeah, I like it all. It ain't until I've actually started trying to pick songs I realised that fast ain't my thing at all. Just ain't my thing. But
and
weird,
that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that.
Just a boring.
That doesn't make you less of a fan. No.
So perhaps that's why I don't like them speedy, you know, power metal type things, bands a lot. I leave them alone quite a bit, and because it's just as soon as I hear that, you're right, Dom. As soon as I hear that fucking double kick drum and the
it's just through everything. It's just
and it loses the heaviness to me. When you slow something down, have you noticed, like when a band are fast and then they get to a break and they do like a breakdown
or something,
and you're like, fuck me, that sounds heavy. And it's like only because it's been so fucking fast beforehand.
Yeah. No, I agree. I'm with you, buddy.
Yeah, there you go. Okay. Primal Fear.
Okay.
Carnivore.
All right. Carnivore.
Carnivore. It's fucking brilliant. Anyway, listen to that. Get your head going on. Okay. Track 9.
Okay. So one of my favorite bands now, and this was the starting point for me, band called Every Time I Die. Some people confuse them with this other band called As I Lay Dying, and those are two completely different things. But Every Time I Die, this is their third record. First two were just complete harsh vocals, no kind of breakdowns. But with the third record, they started to put some melody in it, and they do have some southern riffs sometimes. It's just kind of all over the place, but man, they're just fantastic. I've seen them live quite a few times, probably 8 or 9 times. They've got a new record out. This just came out last month as well, and they're as good as ever. Some metal fans may know the singer. Scott Ian had a band called The Damned Things for 2 albums. And the singer for Every Time I Die was the singer for The Damned Things as well. So I love these guys so much. They never disappoint me as far as records are concerned. And the shows are just fucking amazing. Talk about pits everywhere and just craziness. But a lot more melody than you might expect them to. I think they're labeled metalcore, but I don't know. I don't like these kind of labels anyway. It's just rock and roll to me.
Do they have harsh vocals now? Is there any harsh vocals in the new stuff?
Yeah. I mean, he's still, you know, but it's weird because it's not like it's more kind of a punk kind of harsh vocal, but it's not. It's kind of melodic. It's not like Cookie Monster or anything like that at all.
Okay.
So yeah, no, he still goes back and forth. Yeah. But it's kind of hard to say harsh vocals because you get an idea that it's going to be like, you know, real fucking heavy, and it's not. It's more of a screech, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, you just have to check them out sometime. But Every Time I Die. This is their third album, as I said, Gutter Phenomenon. That's the first one I heard, and it's still probably my favorite album. The song I picked is Guitarred and Feathered.
Cool. Cheers, mate. Thank you very much. Did you say Guitarred and Feathered? That's a cool name for us.
Guitarred and Feathered. Yeah,
I like that. Brilliant. Okay, Jan, what you got, mate?
Okay, I got your 2 favourites bands, and that's the Foo Fighters.
The cat's coming again, by the way.
With In Your Honor, which was a double album. And it's got some great songs on it: Best of You, DOA, Resolve, End Over End, which is a great song. But the second CD was more acoustic, but upbeat, not miserable acoustic, folky stuff. And I've gone for one on that called Cold Day on the Sun, which is actually sung by Taylor Hawkins himself. He sings it while he's drumming. And they usually do this live, and Dave has a bit of a break. But it's just a cool, upbeat, catchy song. And it's obviously a bit unique, the fact that Taylor does it. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if anyone's heard his solo album. It's actually quite good. It came out a couple of years ago. Might have done more than one, actually. I can't remember the name of the band now. Taylor Hawkins and something like that. Anyway, but yes, he's not a bad singer, and this is a good song, Cold Day in the Sun. There you go.
Very cool. Cheers, mate. Foo Fighters. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to please someone now. I'm going to please Mr. Mark Clower.
Mm.
Tony Martin had a solo album out this
All
year
right.
called Scream, and a song called Field of Lies at my number 9. 6 minutes and 37 seconds. Very Sabbathy, doomy, a little bit symphonic at times as well, so quite epic. There's a bits in it that remind me, like the vocal melodies remind me a little bit of the Shining song off of the Sabbath album. That was a turn.
The Shining.
Yeah, exactly. There's a little bits in it that remind me of that as well. It's a very cool song. It's his second solo album. He's got another one coming out as well, beginning of next year.
Yeah, I heard that.
Tony Martin. So yeah, this is brilliant. He's just a brilliant vocalist. But Field of Lies from the Scream album, solo album. Go on, Mark.
Because even though Tony Martin's been on a ton of stuff, he really hasn't had that many solo albums, right? With his name on them.
Yeah. This new one is. Yeah, he's been threatening the new one coming out apparently to Mark. Like Mark said, he's been saying it's coming out for about 4 years now, I think. So
Right.
finally, he might have brought it out last year, mightn't he? But it wouldn't have been a good time, as a lot of bands weren't. Maybe he was ready to bring it, but there you go. Okay, that's my track 9, Tony Martin, Field of Lies.
Excellent. All right, Tony the Cat Martin.
The cat, yeah.
That's what he used to be called. Yeah. Okay, number 10 for me, Corrosion of Conformity.
Ah, yeah.
This is their 7th album called In the Arms of God. The song I chose is World on Fire. If you know them, obviously their first few records, they were a much different band, much more kind of punk. But then they kind of found their, I guess, stonerish groove, if you like. So if you know what Deliverance and all those records sound like, Albatross and all those tunes, you know their thing. They haven't gone any further afield. But this was, I think this was their best record in a while. After Wise Blood, I think I kind of didn't really hear much, but this one hit me well. So good record of theirs. So In the Arms of God by Corrosion of Conformity.
Very cool. Very cool. Bit of stoner metal, if you want to call it that. Who gives a fuck
Yeah.
what it's called? But yeah, I suppose you can call it that. Okay. Well, you got then, Jam?
Right, I've got a song that I've never heard another song by them. I don't intend to listen to any other songs by them, but it's a song that I've been listening to for God knows how long. It's one of them earworms that I used to hear on Scuzz and Kerrang, and I just thought, what the hell is it? And it just gets in there and you can't have it. And I still love it now. And that is Panic at the Disco with I Write Sins, Not Tragedies from A Fever Can't Sweat You Out. I don't even know what sort of music it is. I don't know what it is. I just absolutely love it. It's just brilliant. And I'm still not bored of it. I know it's a very popular song. God knows what the lyrics are about, but it's fucking catchy and it's a great song. And I say I've never probably listened to any other song by him, but I love it. They're actually on the list. There you go.
Very cool.
I have to say, yeah, there's nothing about the songwriting or anything, but I have to say that's probably the least heavy song we've had on this channel.
Yeah.
Is it? I can't even think what it is. Perhaps I've heard it. But,
well, you know,
are there guitars on it?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Well, Bad Nine Inch Nails. There's not many guitars on Only either. There's not really much guitars on that either on 9 Inch Nails. So.
Oh well, that's true. Yeah, but I guess that's different in a way, isn't it? Yeah.
It is fairly heavy. It's got.
I've enjoyed
it's a rock song.
Panic at the Disco. Yeah, I'm just thinking the song, and I'm just thinking that might be the lightest one we've had so far on the channel.
Well, we got Journey. We have Journey on here, so you know.
Well, yeah.
Anyway, okay. Right. Okay. Well, I'm going back to a bit of more Johnny Landé.
Oh my gosh, 2 appearances on one list.
Exactly. Yeah. So I've got the Alan Landé project, and Magnus Coulson also was involved here from Primal Fear.
Okay.
So I'll get him on as well. So Russell Allen's a brilliant vocalist, and he's just amazing. One of the new. He's been around for a while now, and but you know, if you're talking about all the, when you look at our classic vocalists when we were growing up, I suppose, you know, the main people, weren't it? The Dios and the Dickinsons and the Coverdales.
Halfords.
You mean Tim River Owens, yeah? You know what I mean, don't you? We had our little selection, didn't we? We had Jeff Tate and all that. And I suppose Russell Allen is part of them real fucking powerhouse rock vocalist. He is
Yeah.
brilliant. And of course with Jorn Londe as well on the same album, and with Magnus Carlsen at the helm of the songwriting. I think he wrote the album as well. And the song's called Where Have the Angels Gone, from the album The Battle. So this was the debut. There's been a couple more as well, 2 or 3 more. It's just brilliant. The guitar in, it's sort of like melodic metal, I suppose you would say. There's a few symphonic parts in it. One thing Magnus Carlsen does do a lot, and maybe a bit too much. Yeah, I'm starting to hear this, because he's involved in so many projects. He has his own solo albums. He does stuff with Alan Londe. He does so many different projects, and he likes a little symphonic bit at the beginning of his songs. He likes a little like it's a keyboard, a synth, but it sounds like a violin or whatever.
Yeah.
And he likes those little bits before it goes into the song. He needs to think of something else now, because it's happening a lot.
Every fucking song.
Yes, because back then it was like we started doing it, and it was like, oh fucking hell, I love that little classical bit there.
Yeah. That's a little like coda between the real song.
But 20 fucking years later, and you put it on, and you hear that violin bit at the beginning of whatever it sounds like, and you think, all right, fuck me, we know you can do that epic sounding stuff. Just fucking get into the metal now. That's what I think, anyway. But
drop the goddamn keyboard violins.
The only thing I would say about this album, it's a brilliant album, but it's spawned a lot of albums that are trying to do the same thing but not getting there. That's the only thing.
You think specifically this album?
I think this is where it started. I think this is where
Really?
it all started. That symphonic, melodic metal stuff, real catchy. But and I think a lot of it spawned from this for me. And you hear so many bands now trying to emulate that sort of thing, and it just doesn't work. But,
Yeah.
Alan
It's all about
Londe
songwriting, isn't it?
is Where Have the Angels Gone, from the Battle album. There you go. Okay.
Cool. All right. What do I got? I got another, kind of 2 stonery in a row. I don't know. These guys, I think they're classified as stoner metal, but the singer's a lot more melodic, and so he's got more going on. The band's called ASG. They haven't really done much, but they're still around. This is their 3rd album, and they've had 2 more since that. I think they're still together. Rather sporadic album releases, but ASG, the album I have here is called Feeling Good Is Good Enough, and the song is Cracks in the Sky. It definitely has, like your basis and your kind of 70s Sabbath, but not a total ape on it. As I said, it's a bit more melodic, a bit more songwriting going on than just a riff and some guy just doing his Aussie over it. There's a bit more going on here. But this is another album I've had since 2005, listened to it to death. And it's really stood up over time. So if you've never heard ASG and you like a bit of fuzzy 70s influenced rock and roll, hard rock, check them out. Good. As I said, 5 albums total, but this is the 3rd one. Feeling Good Is Good Enough.
Very cool. Very cool. Funny for how things do a full circle in it, and you're getting that now. You're getting a lot of bands now that go right back to the 70s sound now, don't you?
Yeah,
it's happening more and more.
In general, I like the stoner metal sound, but I don't know. Sometimes, as I just said with the Jorn and Alan thing, it's all about songwriting, and sometimes it's just find a riff and just ride that for 7 minutes, not really write a song per se. So I like the stoner metal bands that actually have some tune that you can latch onto. But anyway, that's here nor there. ASG, check them out if you like it.
Very cool. Cheers, mate. What you got in, Jam? It's track 11, isn't it? We're on 11.
Track 11, yeah. I've got another one you guys are going to hate. So it's a cover version as well, and it's a cover version of the first Genesis song I ever heard, and it's Disturbed with Land of Confusion. Now I know you don't like Disturbed. I've gone off them. I do like some of the songs. I love Genesis. I love this song. It's a really good cover version, I think. Obviously, it's fairly similar, but it just disturbs it up if you like. This is before they got stupid with their cover versions. This is obviously quite early. Doing bloody Sound of Silence, which is ridiculous. But anyway, this is a heavy Land of Confusion, which I like anyway. I like Genesis. More of a probably the newer stuff than the older stuff. But I'm going to try and get into some of the older stuff, I think, because I'm sure there's some really good stuff in there. But yeah, Disturbed, Land of Confusion from 10,000 Fists. There you go.
I haven't heard this, but I can imagine. I can understand. I can get that a bit.
What's that weird noise, really mate? What's that weird noise you used to do?
Waka waka waka, like Foggy Bear.
Yeah.
Waka waka waka.
It's funny, isn't it? It's sort of through the years, I remember them being looked at as a sort of a joke at this sort of a later stage. Like when they came out, everyone loved them. I never saw it anyway, but at the beginning they were quite popular. Then they were sort of seen as sort of, every time they put an album out, but now they've sort of got bigger and bigger now, haven't they?
Yeah.
They got more and more popular now, as far as I can see.
Oh.
So yeah, and they haven't really changed that much. Yeah. Anyway, a bit of AOR for me. Track 11, bit of British AOR as well. The band Shy. I love Shy. I think they were a brilliant band. This song's called No Way Out from the Sunset and Vine album. This still had Tony Mills, the late Tony Mills on vocals. I mean, he's probably the closest you get to Tony Harnell, that sort of sounding vocal. Brilliant. I love his vocals. And I think Shy, looking at it, when I was younger, I heard the Shy albums. I sort of always was related to the first couple. I always thought they were the best ones, but I think as I got older, I've realised how good they are. I think they got a bit more mellower and a bit more AOR, but I think they were brilliant all the way through, really. This is very Journey-esque, really, and I think they turned into more of that sort of band later on, like a Journey sort of real mellow sort of band. It's their 9th album, Sunset and Vine.
I didn't realize they had records up, in 2005. I didn't know Shy were still around.
Yeah, they obviously the numbers had dwindled from sales. I think their 3rd album or something was their most popular one, way back in the late 80s, I think. But yeah, No Way Out from the album Sunset and Vine is Shy. Great band. So there you go. Track 12, guys. We're at the end.
Here we are. And now, you'll probably get copyright. I don't want to sing. Okay, so, number 12 is a band I really like. They've been around for quite a while now. This is actually their 5th album. Another Swedish band bringing back the juice. This is Hardcore Superstar. Still making great records. It's funny. I think this might be the first one I heard. And I always thought that the first couple were probably as good, but man, the first couple of records are not that great. They did not come out of the box with their shit together. They're a bit kind of varied and kind of jokey in places. They didn't have their thing yet. This is the album, and it's self-titled as well. Their 5th album, so I think they finally
this is
cemented their sound, because everything since this has been great. But I always thought they kind of came out of the box just they're ready to go, but no, they were really finding their feet. But this one is great. I could have really picked just about any song off this. This is called Standing on the Verge. What can I say? He's got a kind of I don't know. It's great Sunset Strippy kind of melodic glam metal. I saw them with Michael Monroe and they were fantastic. He's got a real kind of Axl kind of vibe, but not a cop or anything, but he's got kind of some of the same moves, but a lot of those singers did back then. But yeah, really good stuff. Hardcore Superstar. I'd recommend seeing them live, and really you could pick any of these albums from 2005 on. Just really always quality stuff. So good for them. Hardcore Superstar.
I hadn't heard them until the last 2 singles that are coming out. I think the
albums... No way, you hadn't heard any of these records? Oh my gosh!
I don't even know why I didn't. I heard of them and I heard they were good, but those last 2 singles, man, fucking hell, they are brilliant, and they're like a dark sort of glam metal. I don't know, they got a darkness about them. They got something a bit more different,
kind of like Skid Row had for a while.
Yeah,
where it wasn't super shiny, it was a bit gritty. Yeah,
definitely. Yeah, I mean, I think Jam, if you haven't heard them, you'd like them and all. I just think they've got something about them. They're really heavy, aren't they? The guitars are fucking heavy, and they're really good. They got definitely
melodic as well. Good songwriter. Yeah.
Very
Agreed.
Cool. Very cool choice. Excellent. What you got then, Jam?
Okay,
good list, by the way. Good list, by the way. 12 tracks, brilliant.
Thanks, man. Thank you.
Yeah. Right, I'm going for a band who released two. This is how fucking lazy they are. They released 2 albums in 1 year and they haven't released anything since. Fucking 16 years and they haven't released a single.
Wore themselves out. They fucking wore themselves out, didn't they?
Yeah.
I say they haven't released a song. They released a couple, didn't they, last year or this year? But anyway, System of a Down with from the Hypnotize album, which is the first one I think they believe that they released this year. I think they released Mesmerize 6 months later or something, but they're both in the same year. This is. I don't know if it's even the last song. It might be 13 on this, but anyway, it's called Soldier Side. It's quite a slow one. It's not a typical sort of System of a Down song. It's more like quite a straight ahead song, really. It's quite a slow intro. It's quite sad. I wouldn't say it's a ballad, but it's quite a sad song. It's all about obviously people going off to war and that. And it's a really good song. They do play it quite often when they play live as well, and quite a good way to finish my 12 tracks, I believe. Okay.
Very cool, mate. Very cool. I think that was the second. What one did you say that was off of Mesmerize?
I think it's on Hypnotize.
I think that was the second album, actually. I think.
But, was it? Okay.
Right. Yeah, I remember them 2 albums. I love them. Yeah. But I don't know what it is with System of a Down now. I just like Aerials. I think that's about it now. Maybe Toxicity. I like that song. But I've just done with a lot of bands in it. You just really into them at the time though. Anyway, right, good list by the way, mate. Brilliant choices yet again. My last choice, I've got an album that I'm going to repeat that Dom had. Obviously not repeating the track.
TNT.
Yes. Yes. And I think this is another album. I know we say it a lot on here, but we could have chose any track. I think it's such a strong album, and such a brilliant comeback. Those 2 albums as well. So the album is All the Way to the Sun, as Dom said. And the song is called Ready to Fly. It's brilliant. It's the final track on the album as well. It's quite atmospheric. It sort of leans towards classic rock, this one. I mean, they do a lot of sort of different styles. They always have done a little bit, but there was more of that sort of, there was more fitted into the 80s style back then with some inventive music still though. But in these 2 albums, they did different stuff across the whole lot, really. Production's just fantastic, just like the album before, really. But excellent. TNT, Ready to Fly, from All the Way to the Sun. That's my track 12.
Oh, cool list.
You got any honorables, guys?
Let me see. I have a couple. I haven't done this in a while, but there are a couple that I can mention. We've got Judas Priest's comeback album with Halford, Angel of Retribution. A lot of people really rate this album. I think it's okay. There are some tracks I really like, but people seem to think this is a classic, and for me it's not really a classic. There's my very favorite Hammerfall album, but we've talked about them a lot on here, but Chapter 5 is my very favorite one. That's my if you want to check out a Hammerfall album and you haven't heard them, for me that's my favorite. What else do I have? There was a band, Masters of Reality, I've spoken of a few times. Their first 2 albums, it was the singer and then this other guy who played bass called Gooch. So he was in the band with Chris Goss. Then he went off and he did the one album with this band called the Boogeymen. It's a great record. It's disappeared. I don't know. It'll probably be either 1 penny online, it'll be like £50 online. I don't know, but it's one of those, I mean, who knows? But it was pretty great record. And the only other one is Nuno Betancourt had another band. I had mentioned one of his bands before. This is another one that he had called Drama Gods. It's not that hard rock. It's more, I'd say it's more kind of pop rock. Good songs, but not very heavy. And he's not doing a lot of guitar things. I think he's kind of putting that aside for now and just writing, some more kind of pop rock albums. But no pop rock songs. But it's a good record. So that's it for me.
Cool. Good, mate. What you got in, Jen?
Well, I had another song I really wanted to have at number 1, and I don't know if I'll get any more songs on. I do like him, and that's the power metal band Sabaton. brilliant. I've saw them live, and they had the tank on the stage and everything. And they are a little bit cheesy. It's power metal. You don't want to listen. I couldn't listen to too much of it at once. But I don't know if this is their debut album or not. Primo Victoria might be. And this is the title track from that. It's all about D-Day. It's absolutely brilliant. If you haven't heard Sabaton, that was a great introduction. Talking about, obviously, all their stuff's about wars and stuff like that. So that would I love to have that song number one. Annihilator had Schizo Deluxe out, which was okay. And Audio Slave's second album, Out of Exile, a few tracks on there, but couldn't get anything on. Brides of Destruction's second album, I think Ginger's on this. I think he's got writing credits. I don't know whether he actually plays on it, but I haven't known it for a long time, so couldn't get on. Helloween did Keeper of the Seven Keys, The Legacy. Wasn't really, didn't live up to the first two albums, the first Keeper's album, so it wasn't much of a legacy. But there's some all right songs on. I think Mrs. God's on there, which is quite good. Tony Iommi obviously released Fused album, but I haven't listened to that for a while, so I don't have anything off that. And then second Shinedown album, Us and Them, a bit of a letdown really after the first one and what they've gone on to do. I was looking at all the song titles and just looking through what they play live and that. They play very little off this album, and they obviously don't rate it themselves. And it's quite unmemorable, really. So Shinedown will appear again, but there you go, their second album, and that's it.
Cool. I had Overkill bought an album out that year. I had Crash Diet. I wanted to get a Crash Diet off Resting Sleaze as well, but I don't know. I wanted to talk about different bands and there's certain songs. I just couldn't get one on. But it's a very cool album, so good. I'm glad you mentioned it, Dom. Jolene Turner had an album out, another one. He's bringing albums out, but The Usual Suspects, this one was called. Rob Rock. Love him. I love Rob Rock's vocals. He brought Holy Hell out this year, another great album. Proper metal is getting really heavier at this stage. Shinedown, I had Shinedown, and I'm a bit like you on that, Jam. I like a lot of Shinedown songs, and I couldn't find anything on it that would fit on here at all. I had Hardcore Superstar. What I was going to do, I was going to go into that album if I couldn't find nothing. Because I write like a rough list down first of all of everything I could include. But you know, I do love that band, by the way. I love their last couple of songs. I'm really interested in hearing the album. Xeno, I've mentioned him before. Xeno Roth.
Oh
yeah, he had Xenology 2 out that year. Really good album. Just it's hard, isn't it? There's a lot coming out now. And Chakra had another album out. It's just like they bring albums out all the time. Probably sounded the same as the rest of them. Pretty good, but samey. But no, that's it. Another great list, guys. Thank you very much for that. 2006 next.
Cool.
Interesting stuff. So,
reunited, and it feels so good.
Obviously, we'll work out a date to come back with that. But everyone keeps it. The usuals are all putting their lists in, aren't they? Which is excellent.
Always just stellar stuff.
It is brilliant. So, who's the one who puts side 1 and side 2? I like a bit of that. That's pretty cool, isn't it? Side A, side B.
That's Luca, isn't it? That's
Luca. Yeah. That is classic. That is. So that's brilliant. Well, thanks, guys, for joining me again. It's been a pleasure. Sorry about. I just can't do anything about him. He's just a nutcase. He's after saying now. Look, I don't know what he's looking at.
And then once you shut the camera off, he'll be off your lap. And
he'll go asleep. He'll probably go asleep. Yeah. I think he likes you too. As soon as I say Jam and Dom, he just comes running. He loves it.
Who can blame him? He hasn't looked at us once, but that's fine.
Look there. All right. Thanks for joining me, guys. I'll see you soon.
Rock and roll.